Robin, Chris?
Oh, it's so beautiful. You are a lucky man, Sam Champion, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are. Well, okay, how big is this? This is so big. Too big for the four of us. So we had to enlist the help of our national correspondent, Claire Shipman.
It is so big, you can't use the word big enough. And now we're going to Claire. It is your turn to help in the bigness. Claire Shipman, let us have it.
All right, I can't wait for you guys to see this. Now, there is a reason why presidents, kings, queens, and even I feel comfortable here, because I'm at the biggest castle in the world. Now, I don't know if you guys can make me out still up here. I like the waving. I'm feeling very royal today. I'm at the Prague Castle in the Czech Republic, literally the biggest castle in the world, and it's the size of a small town, and it has been a fabulous home for the rulers here for centuries.
The guarded storybook castle gates, the 50-foot-high majestic stone walls enclosing acres and acres of opulence. From the air, it seems virtually a small city, 7 football fields full of buildings, turrets, cobblestones. The centerpiece, the stunning St. Vitus Cathedral. 3 courtyards, 3 churches, 4 palaces, alleys, and arches. A glittering tapestry woven from more than 1,000 years of the nation's rich history. The sheer size and scope of the treasures inside, jaw-dropping.
There is so much in one place. It's huge. I think people don't even know that you're still in the castle. They're like, are we still in the castle? Are we still in the castle?
Just to give you a sense of the magnitude of the place, we thought we'd see how long it takes to walk the grounds of the castle. Come along.
So much to see, 4,000 paintings here, but remember, I'm not stopping, just walking from one end to the other.
Okay, I think we're almost halfway. Okay, let's see. Almost an hour. That is some big castle.
And here's another way to think about it. The grounds of this castle so big you could fit 6 Buckingham Palaces inside of it. Still not impressed? How about 87 White Houses? Of course, it hardly started out this way.
This castle had very humble beginnings as essentially an earthen mound, and then it develops into what we have today, which is this huge, magnificent castle on the hill.
And of course, the bigger the castle, the bigger the intrigue.
And this place is not only huge, but as I just mentioned, it has a history that's sparkling and bloody. We're going to show you the secrets of the crown jewels in a little bit, and show you a very painful way they used to deal with enemies, Robin and Chris.
Go ahead, give us the royal wave there from the window, Claire. Hit it one more time. There you are.
Remember, cup the hand and just a little pivot of the wrist.
There you go.
There you go.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
We'll get back to you in just a little bit. Thank you so much for being there, Claire. And coming up,
we have some interesting stuff. Take a look at the picture. How about a man who did this with his hands? Shark versus man. When we come back, you will not believe these pictures.
Whoa, back to GMA Big, and today Claire Shipman is in the biggest castle in all the world, the Prague Castle in the Czech Republic.
Bigger than 7 football fields. You said something like it's 100+ White Houses. I mean, it's just huge. So, Claire, tell us about some of these mysteries there as well.
Oh, guys, we have so many secrets, especially tucked inside of this stunning building behind me, the St. Vitus Cathedral. This is literally the biggest building inside of the biggest castle in the world. But really, this entire compound has always been central to Czech life, full of intrigue and power struggles.
For almost 1,000 years, Prague Castle, perched high above the city, has been steeped in legends, symbolism. In 1939, Hitler came here to let everyone know he'd taken Prague.
Despair was in the hearts of the people.
And it was here that citizens held vigil, wept, and finally embraced their joy when communism melted away in 1989. And its medieval secrets still tantalize today. The castle hoards deep inside such an extraordinary set of crown jewels, the public only gets to see them once every 5 years. Dr. Frantizek Kodlitz took us to the special chapel, not open to the public, where they're kept.
But this door is hard to open.
Yeah. As you can see, there are 7 locks.
7 different locks. It requires 7 different keys and 7 different people, including the president and the prime minister, to get together to get the door open.
No, we didn't break in. We didn't get the 7 keys together. This is, in fact, an exact replica of the crown of King Wenceslaus. And by the way, the real thing comes with a curse. Apparently, if you put it on your head and you're not the king, you die within a year. So it's tempting, but even with a replica, I'm not going to take any chances.
The jewels buried deep, but you only have to scratch the surface of these walls to uncover centuries of intrigue. Remember Good King Wenceslas from that classic Christmas song?
Good King Wenceslas looked out.
This chapel has held his remains for 1,000 years or so. In the year 935, his brother had him murdered on the way to Mass.
And history can literally get steep around here. This may be the most notorious window in all of Prague. In 1618, a band of Protestant noblemen stormed the castle, grabbed 3 of the king's Catholic men, and chucked them out of the window. Ouch! But they managed to survive that more than 50-foot fall because they landed in a pile of manure. Still, the event set off the 30-year war, and window hurling soon became the trademark method for dealing with your political enemies.
But the only show of force today at the castle, the changing of the guard in vibrant new uniforms. Former President Václav Havel actually hired the costume designer from the award-winning film Amadeus to recreate historically accurate uniforms for the castle guards, from dingy, washed-out communist khaki to a brilliant blue.
So what color blue is that? Royal blue? Okay, I think that was a smile. All right, well, those guys are really sweet, so I don't think I'm in any danger of being thrown out of any windows here today, but let me give you guys one more little tidbit in case you need it. There's actually a word for hurling people out of windows: defenestration. Yes. It's from Latin, and you guys might need that for your next spelling bee or something, Robin and Chris.
Thank you. Thank you.
Defenestration, fenestra,
royal
the word
blue.
for
I like
window.
royal blue, too. Oh, is that
fenestra is the word for window in Latin. It's in the card.
Oh,
very good. Ding, 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 ding.
Hey, the Twitter boards are lighting up for you. That place is so big, Claire. Tell me, how many live inside?
You know, it's a shame. Nobody lives here, although I've been inquiring. I think they're going to let me move in. It looks like home for me, right?
I don't know.
Nobody.
After you talk to the guard like that.
Meetings.
Not after what you said to that guard. That's it. You're out.
I'm working it. I'm working it. Come on.
Thanks a lot, Claire. Appreciate it. We can't get Claire back. We can't get Sam back.
What's going on?
No one's going to be here. But we'll be here around the water cooler. Shark guy. The shark versus man.
This is big.
We'll
man fight shark.
Next. Today, GMA Big, all about majesty, monarchy, and mystery. Claire Shipman is at the biggest castle in the world, the Prague Castle, and she has more about the often hidden history behind those palace walls. Hey, Claire.
Hey, Robin, listen, it is so fascinating here because history is literally stacked on itself, almost like a layer cake. Come over here. I want to try to show you something underneath this church. I don't know if you can see it. This is an 11th century Romanesque wall, the original remains of the basilica of this church. And now, 900 years later, just look at this place. It's incredible. It's really one of the things that we've been talking about in terms of these castles all week. What is it about them that fascinates us so much?
If you stand close enough, you can almost hear the clattering of hooves, clanking of swords, the rustle of gowns. Castles. That fantastical combination of stone and brick, arch and spire, turret and tower, that somehow speaks directly to our most primal imagination, perhaps the most romantic, mythical structures ever created.
They've still got that mystique, and they've still got that immense strength about them. For boys, there's the power of the thing. For the girls, I suppose the romance of the of the idea of knights in shining armour.
Watch the Tudors for even a few minutes and you'll not only see a world awash in castles, but power, romance, intrigue, real history that would shape the world.
Then it is settled. We are to war with France.
Windsor is the biggest occupied castle in the world, home of Queen Elizabeth when she's not at one of her other castles. But Buckingham Palace may be the most famous home to modern royalty. Who can forget electric moments like that famous kiss seen around the world? And the most sinister castle, of course, in modern-day Romania. It once held prisoner Vlad Dracula, who inspired the legend of Dracula.
I bid you welcome.
And Versailles, hands down the one we think of as the most lavish palace. It's a lifestyle we've all dreamed about, but for William Lobkowicz, it's not just a fantasy. This American from Boston actually owns part of the Prague Castle.
My great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother was Princess Polixena Lobkowicz.
His ancestors lived in the castle, in the Lobkowicz Palace, until his grandparents lost everything to the Nazis and the communists. Today it belongs to the family again, the only part of the castle privately owned.
It was really a call of the roots. We had 4 lawyers working full-time for 7 years, for the first 7 years, just to find the properties, find the papers, and see if we could, in fact, get some of these things back. And we were quite successful.
William has turned it into one of Prague's most popular museums.
This is actually the Fifth Symphony score with the annotations of Beethoven on them. And these are the original performing parts.
Cool stuff. You could even call him Prince William, but the title makes him uncomfortable.
Titles were abolished in 1918, so we're just ordinary citizens today, but we live in our history, of course, with our museum.
The stories, the heritage, that's the essence of the allure of castles, the extravagant, outsized days of old, the improbable tales. These buildings send a siren call to our imaginations. Get a bit closer. You can almost hear the sounds of history being made. Oh, it's just been extraordinary to look at everything from this plaza here to the castle. And you're probably going to see a lot more of these scenes in the coming weeks because President Obama is coming here on his first trip to Europe. He'll be meeting with European leaders on his way. He's going to stop in Prague. A lot of his time will be spent here at the Prague Castle, guys.
But you are there today, Claire. And you mentioned something earlier about Mick Jagger, and the crew members are like, hey, she never mentioned about Mick. What was the deal?
Mick, you know, anytime we can fit Mick Jagger and castles into the same thing, we really like to talk about it. But it's interesting because, you know, Mick Jagger came here on a trip in 1996 and to perform and was so stunned by what he saw. And then he started asking the people who were taking him around. They said, guys, we love this, except that it needs more lights. So he donated an entirely new lighting system.
Ooh, there's the Mick Jagger connection. Guys, are you satisfied now?
Yes.
We'll be back.